Six to 7 million years ago, the climate of Africa was constantly changing. Our ancestors, Sahelanthropus chilensis, had to adapt quickly. The forests where they lived were turning into grass, and there were nearly no trees left. The Sahelanthropus chilensis had to find a way to move around without trees. They learned to walk on two legs, and like us, became biped. Because our ancestors became bipeds, their bones changed. Scientist studies shows that species that walked on two legs had different bones than those that didn't. Other species like Ornithogenesis came shortly after Sahelanthropus. They lived about 6 million years ago. Also Australopithecus afarensis, Australopithecus africanus, and others like that. Walking let our ancestors use less energy when moving around. They could also carry things in their hands more. Another reason is they could see over tall grass, and there would be less sun on them, so they would keep cooler. First tools were made by Homo habilis. Homo habilis is sometimes referred to as handyman because it made the earliest tools. The tools were simple and looked like broken rocks. The Homo habilis used their tools to cut meat and smash bones for marrow. Our ancestors were at first scavengers. That means they got their food by scavenging, looking around for food. When we learned to walk on two legs, we began to use a simple method of hunting. We would chase an animal around. The animal was faster, but it got tired quicker than we did. That is because we could sweat. So basically, we would chase an animal around, not letting it rest until it dropped dead because it was so tired. Fire was one of the most important discoveries ever made by ancient people. They probably first discovered it when lightning hit a forest, or maybe by hitting two sticks against each other. Fire let our ancestors keep warm, kept predators away, and roasted their meat so it was easier to digest. Fire might have also helped our ancestors be more social. The Stone Age was when many stone tools were invented. Homo habilis and then Homo erectus made stone tools using a method called flint working. Flint is quite useful because regular flakes come off when it's chipped. Chipping carefully can control the flake's angle and shape. The flakes could then be used to make better tools like knives and arrowheads. Homo erectus invented the stone axe. Then later they invented the first spears. It was basically the stone axe attached to a stick. It was heavy so they couldn't throw it. Instead, they had to go up close to the animal they were hunting and stab it. Over years and years of hunting with the spears, our ancestors became great hunters. They usually hunted animals like the woolly mammoth. The Ice Age was several alternate cold and warm periods. Europe was covered with ice. Homo erectus were the first to live there. And then came Homo neanderthalensis, Neanderthals. Neanderthals didn't look much like modern humans. They were very muscular and had large heads and noses. They used fire to keep them warm and fed on large mammals. This was happening about 200,000 to 30,000 years ago. Neanderthals were close cousins of modern humans. They lived in caves that were cozy and had advanced tools for hunting. Neanderthals were probably the first humans to wear clothes. The clothes protected them from the cold. They were very well adapted to living in the Ice Age. Neanderthals probably lived in large family groups. The earliest works of art were created in the last Ice Age. The homos that created art were truly human because art is a peculiar thing for early humans. The works of art were mainly paintings of animals. Also, there were some carvings of animals and women. The images of animals represented what they hunted for food. They made art on caves and out of materials like rocks. Neanderthals showed the first signs of humanity. They cared for disabled, buried the dead, and maybe had some type of religion. Scientists discovered a skull of a very old Neanderthal. The Neanderthal had a very serious jaw infection and would not have survived to be this old if others had not cared for him. This proves Neanderthals cared for elderly. Most scientists believe that we Homo sapiens evolved in Africa. This was probably between 200,000 and 100,000 years ago. By 11,000 years ago, we occupied every continent except for Antarctica. We Homo sapiens had more tools than our predecessors. They were made of bone, rock, ivory, and wood. Also, we had communication through speaking or through art. Music became part of our lives. From there, over years and years, we became what we are today.
Speaking my language.